This is how I rewired my brain to make the hard stuff fun. Hey, this is Malcolm. I only recently found my direction in life. For the longest time, I only ever wanted to do things that I thought was fun or that I found interesting. But unfortunately, to really be successful in life, you have to do the hard stuff. You have to do something that you don't necessarily want to do. I actually remember in high school, I kept considering all these different careers. At one point, I wanted to be a marine biologist. At another point, I was considering physical therapy, even electrical engineering. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it got to the point where I was considering becoming a famous rapper, and that being my source of income. But nothing ever stuck. I just kept quitting things, no matter how interested or passionate I thought I was about it. It really kept getting to the point where I was thinking, is this really for me? No matter what it was. But before I continue, let's actually go back. So here's a fun fact. When trying to design the light bulb in 1878, Thomas Edison actually tried 6,000 different filaments. I can't even believe that. And that's actually the reason he was the one to invent the light bulb. He was the only person willing to try that many times and for that long. And I don't care who you are, but there is no way that was actually fun for him trying that many different filaments. And any sane person, at least, would have had their doubts at some point. But when you persist, even if you are starting to think that something might not be for you, you'll learn the skill and you'll get the reward. Anyway, back to my story. So at one point, I started to realize that I was consistently giving up on the things that I really thought I enjoyed and thought I was passionate about. And it was 1.5 years after high school at this point, and I didn't have any plans or I didn't have a career I was working towards. I really started to feel like the whole world was leaving me behind. Then I started to think, well, why not try one more thing? So I chose data science. But this time, I realized it needed to be different. It had to be. This time, I needed to commit, so I did. I enrolled full-time in my bachelor's program for data analytics. But I have to make sure that this time is different, that this time I stay committed. So here are the 5 things that I'm doing to make sure I can stay on track, stay committed, and stick with this. Number 1, invest. So when I say invest, that can mean a few things. First, you can invest time, just making sure that you're investing enough time to make measurable progress towards your goal every day. And also make sure you invest money as well. What I mean by that is, like, if you want to become a doctor, obviously you need to pay for medical school. If you're learning data science, in that case, you may need to either pay for a course, online content, or an actual degree program. And the importance of this is that by investing, you've already put in your own time, money, and effort. That makes you want to stay committed and make it work because you've already invested this much time or this much money into this thing. Number 2, consume. So when I say consume, it's really like the concept you are what you eat. In the same way that you are what you eat, your mind is the content you feed it. So if you want to become a data scientist, then every day you need to make sure that you're consuming content related to that thing. That way you can think like a data scientist does. Another important thing with this too is that you really want to try cutting out any of the extra things, extra content you consume that's really not related to what you want to learn and what you're interested in, mostly because of dopamine. If you're too busy watching like TikToks or doom scrolling, it's fun, definitely fun, but that makes the things you need to do to achieve your goal a lot less fun. 3, is actually very similar to number 2. It's obsess. Really, that just means you need to obsess over the things you need to learn. And by that, I mean spending about 80 to 90% of your mental energy on that thing. 80 to 90% of the time, you need to be thinking about the skills that you're learning. Number 4, share. So when I say share, I mean just share what you're learning and what you're excited about with anyone you know, whether it's your peers, your coworkers, or family. This way, they'll see that you're really into this thing, and they'll be able to connect you with other people who are actually doing that work. And 5, remember. There's a few things you need to remember. First, you need to remember why you're doing this. You need to have a why, and you need to remember your goal. And by doing that, that'll just really help you stay on track and stay motivated, even when times get tough. Another thing you need to remember too is that you are human. You'll make mistakes. Things will get tough. You will lose motivation. But if you just stick with it and persist through those tough times, you'll come out on top and achieve your goal. At the end of the day, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. You just need to keep in mind that yes, it will take time. Yes, it will be tough. And you may lose motivation or focus along the way. But if you just keep persisting, keep doing it, and follow those 5 steps, you definitely can achieve anything you want and be passionate about anything you want. Really hope that helps. Take care.